This is the first part of a video series explaining the working memory theory and how and why the WeMind platform is based on that. So there are several theories explaining the working mechanism of EMDR, and one of them is the working memory theory, which has received the most evidence and has become the scientific standard to explain the working mechanism of EMDR within the Netherlands and also the rest of Europe. Based on that, EMDR 2.0 has been developed to improve EMDR and based on the working memory theory, making EMDR therapy even more effective. So the working memory theory was developed by Baddeley in 1974, even before EMDR was invented. And the theory explains that the working memory is a part of the brain that is limited in capacity. And every time when you experience events or traumatic events, then information flows into the working memory before it gets consolidated in the long-term memory. And during EMDR, we activate those traumatic memories from the long-term memory into the working memory, and while being in that limited capacity working memory, we can work on it. And during EMDR, we try to load the working memory to tax it, so we use dual attention tasks, for instance, eye movements, that load the working memory while a client thinks about a traumatic memory. And that dual attention, dual in that sense, makes it more difficult to think about the traumatic memory and information gets lost while the working memory is overloaded with all that dual attention tasking. So that information is not stored back into the long-term memory properly, and then the memory loses emotional load and becomes less negatively emotionally loaded. So the WeMind platform is based on this working memory theory, and there has been a lot of evidence that the more working memory load you give to your client, the more effective EMDR therapy can be. For instance, traditional eye movements have quite a low working memory load if the eye movements are slow, but they have a higher working memory load when the eye movements are faster. So in traditional therapy with just eye movements, you are limited in how much working memory load you can apply. But with adding digital tools like the WeMind platform, you can add more dual attention tasks and make those tasks even more working memory taxing to make EMDR more effective. So the WeMind platform has a lot of opportunities to load working memory more effectively and therefore making EMDR therapy more effective. Also, it uses an algorithm that tries to establish an optimal working memory load for your individual client to receive the most positive results. This has been researched, and with this we are further developing the platform to making EMDR even more effective and more personal, because individuals differ in how much tasks they can do within a session and how big the working memory capacity is. In the next video, we will explain to you how we do that within the WeMind platform based on the working memory theory.